Hello everyone, welcome to Carrow Road. Hope you like my new coat, on for the new season. Here it is. Right, I'm leaving. Norwich have, as you may well know, lost here 1-0 to a Wayne Rooney free kick in the 88th minute, I think it was, having basically completely dominated the almost entirety of the 90 minutes against the Derby side, who having been absolutely whooped by... Cheers, my man. I'm off. Oh. There, no worries. Pass over. Absolutely whooped by Blackburn, of course. We're kind of trying to show a reaction. They brought in more experienced heads, more championship performers, people like Curtis Davies, and defended really well in a really low block. They, as Philip Koku said after the game, deliberately reduced the spaces Norwich would have to create in. And for Norwich being so dominant for the entirety of the game, they really didn't create a lot. I remember even sort of the first 15 minutes in, just thinking, well, this is great. They were zipping the ball around, real purpose, real structure in what they were doing. They had a couple of chances early on, but they you could just sense they were going to struggle to get real sighters in on goal. And I think probably the most frustrating thing about that is what happened at Bournemouth as well. So Norwich, for all the talk and narrative of how well they played at Bournemouth, Bournemouth created the real chances. Tim Krul made the real saves. So games like this at points in the season like this are really difficult to analyse, because Norwich did a lot of good things today, but there are clear issues which may click because the processes will work and it will happen. And the uncertainty of the transfer window is clearly not helpful at the moment as well. And there were some positive... I can't watch that and say it was rubbish, because it wasn't. In fact, if anything, the crux of the frustration, and trust me, that 90 minutes was so frustrating to watch, is that they basically look a really good side, except they can't create many chances, and they appear to be pretty adept at conceding goals. Even if they're from unlucky, or not even unlucky, that's not the word I want to use at all, but from circumstances that just cause them issues. Wayne Rooney getting a free kick on 88 minutes like that, conceding the penalty like against Preston, and those sort of scenarios are just making for so... this is why relegation is so difficult, because you come down with baggage and muscle memory of everything going wrong and you not being good enough. It's very different to, blooding a few youngsters, getting a few players in who have got some good pedigree, and look at the momentum we've got here. It's amazing. Nothing can go wrong. So that's a really hard one to battle through. But, obviously I've seen some of the social media reaction as well, and I think we may get to that point if things don't click or improve, obviously. But at the moment, you just got to say they've just got to keep going and see how things go. As I've been saying as well, after the international break, when the window will be closed, there's no one's going anywhere unless they start playing in January, and the games come thick and fast, 2 a week. It's a completely different schedule and dynamic to this championship season after this game compared to what we've had up until this point for Norwich City. So that's a shame. I think these are the spots for the social distancing for when the fans came. I'm guessing that. That's sad. Obviously it was a horrible atmosphere in there today because no one was in there. Positive points, I did want to say I thought that was Lucas Rupp's best performance in a Norwich shirt today, playing in the slightly deeper role alongside Ollie Skip. I thought he was superb in general, really dynamic, picked up the ball really well, used it well, kept Norwich ticking over. Again, you could put the argument in that it just kind of emphasised that there would still be a role for Tom Trybull and Moritz Leitner in this side, but I thought Lucas Rupp was excellent. Ben Gibson started and just slotted in like a dream, to be honest. Remarkable. Ben Godfrey's move hasn't been confirmed yet to Everton, but we're still thoroughly fully expecting that it will be. Emi Buendia played. He did some wonderful created some wonderful moments, great touches in there. But I do think he looked rusty, and I did think he looked short of match fitness, and I did think he looked pretty frustrated. When he got brought off, he went straight down the tunnel, and then 15 to 20 seconds later sort of re-emerged as if to go, yeah, I shouldn't do that. But he cuts a frustrating figure. That may well be why no one has put in a bid for him to this point, because he comes with a bit of managing, and not every manager wants to waste their time or put their energy into managing a player like that when they maybe will find someone who doesn't have that. I mean, ironically, Todd Cantwell doesn't have that. That in terms of public show of sort of emotion and management that you have to put into him. But we didn't see him today. He wasn't involved in the squad. It's obviously going to take him a little bit longer to work his way back into Daniel Farke's team. That's, of course, if he's still here at the end of the transfer window. I'll reiterate, the international window closes on Monday, but Premier League clubs can still buy from EFL clubs for the rest of the international break, basically, because it closes on Friday at 5 p.m. There she is. So yeah, and the one thing obviously I haven't mentioned is that Norwich really should have been 1-0 up. I mean, how do you analyse a game where Norwich win a penalty, no questions over it, and your striker slips with his standing leg and scoops the penalty up and it clips the top of the crossbar? I mean, what do you do with that? I don't know what you do with that, but to me, I have to say, so I get the clamour, and we are where we are now, and if we're still where we are now in another 5 to 10 games, then I understand it. But at the moment, given some of the things that have happened, it does feel like it's the point at which to go, right, get your head down, keep doing this, and it will come. But they do need to create more chances, and they do need to take them when they come along. Otherwise, this is gonna drag, and the inertia of it all will become overbearing to trying to create a promotion push. We'll still see. But Daniel Farke tried to change it at reasonably good moments. Adamida came on quite early. Jordan Hugill didn't. And Norwich is still trying to sort of cross the ball when they've still only got Teemu Pukki up top. I don't really understand that, really. You would be better off playing a different striker from the start. I don't know if Daniel's quite figured that one out yet. Because you can't cross a high ball in with Teemu Pukki in the box. And they've kind of got the ammunition coming in from both sides at the moment. So that's a tricky one. It was probably a shame that we didn't see Jordan come on, because he won a couple of headers when he did and started to sort of really force the issue in terms of Derby. And they did switch as well to a sort of a 3-4-1-2, and actually Emmy was relatively quiet in the 10 role, which kind of maybe emphasises why we don't see him there too often. Mario Vrancic came on and looked pretty good again as well, and Ollie Skip actually ended up playing on the right side of the back three, which was interesting. But ultimately it was a different shape but the same kind of outcome, and some real questions now. Norwich, of course, we've got a transfer window to conclude. Max Aaron's disappeared down the tunnel after the game quite early. I can imagine he's quite frustrated at the moment, seeing Ben Godfrey and obviously Jamal's already gone, and he'll be wondering where this is all going to leave him between now and January, if he's still here, or what the window delivers. It's been a really tough few weeks for Norwich City. Tough year, really, hasn't it? And we're not quite sure where it's all going to get concluded yet. We will see. Anyway, I'm going to go. In the meantime, have a great break. I'll be producing the usual videos over on all the channels over the course of the international break, so keep an eye out for those. You know where they are. Leave your comments and questions. I always try and give them all a read. And whenever I see you next on the Ball podcast as well, and I will see you at Rotherham, of course, on Saturday week, when we'll see what the dynamic holds for Norwich City next. Until all that, take care of yourselves, and see you very soon.